Welcome to Yellow Brick Road. I am Jordan, and today got a little reaction video to Jamarl Thomas and Mark Sleboda. I don't know who the fuck that is, but he looks smart. He looks like a fancy pants. Pause. I assume they're talking about Ukraine, Russia, and Trump, obviously. Before I get started, don't forget to share, support, hopefully donate to all the links in the description box. Check them out, read them, share them, donate. Do it. All right. So, do you know this guy, Anthony? Mark Sleboda? Sleboda?
He's a guy that this circle of YouTube uses as like a Russian
Expert or something.
relations expert. Yeah, I don't know. And I just thought they had a call. I ain't endorsing none. I ain't endorsing the guy. I'm just saying I thought they had a good conversation on this. They called me up on shit I didn't know.
Okay.
I just wanted to spark a little conversation about it. That's it.
Okay. Fair enough. Hey, without further ado, let's hear this. I have not heard this yet, so this will be a real reaction. Here we go. Get him, Jamarl.
I want to bring in my guest, though. The man of the hour, Mark Sleboda, international relations and security analyst, a good friend of the show, and a lot to talk about today. How you doing, Mark? You doing all right?
Jamarl, thanks for having me. It's always an honor and a pleasure to be on the show.
Mark, it is always an honor and a pleasure to have you. Mark, I think that there are deep politics at work. Deep politics. What I mean by that is, so
rather than shallow politics, because
rather than shallow politics, right?
Never really shallow, right?
So Trump reworks a deal. He works a mineral deal, and that deal is so onerous it gets worse, right? Where he is effectively saying, "Look, we want everything to come out of Ukraine until the debt is paid off." And so all of the money that Joe Biden gave is now a debt that needs to be repaid back with interest. Yeah. America would get controlling interest or controlling decision in regards to what they explore and the money that comes back from them. And
which I want to say is an extreme move if your attempt is to actually create peace, right? That'd be a very strange move. That's almost like,
putting it lightly.
Yes, that because like you said, your people are dying. It was like they're still fighting in Ukraine. Right, they're still fighting right now. So it's like,
yeah.
But he's offering this as like, it's almost like that over the top offer, just because you know it'll come down later, right? Which means it sounds like opening negotiations.
What is it? I'm a superstars aim for the moon.
Yeah, exactly. It's the fucking the bank robber like I want, or the ransom guy like I want $250 million. He's hoping for 10 million, but he's like I want 250 million, and then the price will gradually come down. You just haggle and shit and bargain. It was like, yeah, that's just crazy. But all right, here we go.
In regards to what they explore and the money that comes back from them, and as Medvedev pointed out, Zelensky would be hung and everybody with him if he signed that deal. And even Ukrainian officials are like, this would never pass. We can't do this. Now, I guess my question is, does Trump know that he can't do this and made that deal specifically?
It's the end of the deal.
Zelensky can't sign it. Now, just add something else. Zelensky comes out and says, look, so I'm not going to play the video because it's not in English, but Zelensky effectively says, look, we're not doing it. I'm not signing that deal. And not just not signing that deal, I am not accepting that this is a debt. This is something that you gave. This is not accepted as a debt. He then follows it up with pointing out that, by the way, I am also working with the Europeans in a way that I'm not necessarily going to tell you how I'm working with them, but I'm working with the Europeans in lieu of leverage, I suppose, just in case America pulls out. Interesting, another article comes out, and I know I'm putting out a lot, I'm sorry. Another article comes out where they point out Zelensky went to the former Italian prime minister, and effectively said, hey, I am very doubtful of America right now, and I don't think Europe can carry the burden. So could you please go to Brazil and China and ask them for their support?
Okay, I heard
Brazil,
this.
Lula effectively slammed the door, kicked him out. Said, this is not my issue. You and America provoked this, you deal with it. China was more amicable, but effectively the same thing of, it's interesting that you come. You're the first person to come to ask us about this. But effectively, no. We're allies. We're not doing it. Trump comes out as boisterous as ever. And by the way, this is Medvedev, because I still think Medvedev is Putin whisperer. Medvedev says this, which I think is true. The American rolled out an excellent draft commodity deal for Kiev freak. If Kiev regime approves it, the drug addict and company will be hanged in Maidan like Mussolini. And if he rejects it, the United States will reset Bandera regime. Checkmate. Effectively, I put out a deal that you in no way could possibly sign. Trump comes out as boisterous as ever and says this.
Of the rare earth deal. And if he does that, he's got some problems, big problems. We made a deal on rare earth. And now he's saying, well, you know, I want to renegotiate the deal. He wants to be a member of NATO. Well, he was never going to be a member of NATO. He understands that. So if he's looking to renegotiate the deal, he's got big problems. Zelensky, by the way,
I've seen this that as well. Ah, shit.
Thank you. Mark, I threw a lot at you. I think all of that stuff is related to each other. First question, did Trump put out a deal knowing full well that Zelensky could not accept that deal?
Yeah. So first of all, it has to be said that right off the bat, well, it's not actually Zelensky. There was no deal, right? I mean, not that, maybe the broad outlines of there should be a deal was agreed upon, but the actual terms of the deal have never been agreed upon and signed. Right. And it's actually the U.S. that is continually changing the terms of the deal and evidently making it worse, progressively worse, and more punitive every time Zelensky hesitates and it doesn't get signed, right? So, or whatever happened with the fracas in the White House and so on. And evidently they don't even want Zelensky to sign it because they're as worried about the legality of that, although they won't say it as anyone else. It would be signed by one of his ministers. But so it actually goes a lot worse than what you are describing, right? Because it is not until the debt of all the quote unquote debt of all the U.S. aid, and Trump claims it's much bigger, which is very interesting because it may give us an insight of how much greater U.S. support has been than publicly revealed to the Kiev regime. He says it's some $300 billion, right? Which is more than double what most estimates are, right? So and he keeps repeating that
negotiating
number,
to
right? So he's very insistent on it.
Dangling.
He says, "I don't care if
lives.
Biden gave it to you. I want it back." Right, and that's what this deal is about. And Zelensky's perfectly right here, right? I mean, Donald Trump is acting like a mafia don, right? And I don't think I've ever said those words that Zelensky is perfectly right before, right? Yeah, I mean, it was given, and now for Trump to be demanding it back, right? That is, obviously not something that the Kiev regime can accept, nor I believe is it meant to accept, right?
Exactly.
So it's not just a mineral resources deal. It's a deal on anything of any value that makes money in Ukraine, public or private. Infrastructure, ports, energy, mineral, anything, right?
That's fucking crazy. It's like,
just listen to what he says, bro. It's fucked up, but it's true. What he's about to say is fucked up.
All right, here we go. But that's fucking.
No, if you want to say something, go ahead. If you want to say something.
No, I was saying that's fucking crazy. Yeah, like I said, this is probably one of my worst foreign policy topics is Ukraine and Russia. I'm learning more and more as I go. Yeah, this is fucking nuts. If this is if it is going down the way they're saying it, and yes, that deal was kind of like, not realistic. I don't think. But all right, here we go.
then all of the proceeds from that go into a fund that the U.S. would have a controlling share of, and basically the U.S. decides to
Oh
get
my
what
God.
they get out of it. And it's not until the debt is paid off, it's indefinite, it's forever, right? So, I mean, the deal is not, and it's not just actually the stuff that's built now. It's any infrastructure of anything value built in Ukraine into the future as well, right?
So there you are, slaves now.
I mean, he's IMFing the fuck out of him, isn't he? Like, or it's just forever debt. You actually end up getting more debt just trying to pay back the debt because you have to do some weird, crazy shit just to fucking attempt to pay something off, which means you're subjugated and owned for like in perpetuity, essentially. Right? That's what this guy's saying. Like,
The way
Yeah, I
this
don't know.
guy's
I don't know if that's accurate or not. I mean, I don't.
that's what
I
he's
didn't
saying,
think it
though.
sounded true. Yeah, that's what he's saying. I mean, but yeah, that sounds crazy, bro.
he's saying they're basically slaves, like because if they're gonna work, and it's not just minerals, it's whatever they make, even private companies. So they're working for us, basically at gunpoint. Otherwise, they get rolled by Russia. So it's an offer you can't refuse.
Yeah. It's constant income, I guess. You're just fucking renting out Ukraine to Ukrainians. Yeah, we'll rent you your own country to you. But all right, here we go.
So it's the U.S. in this most. I don't know if there has ever been an imperialist, colonialist diktat more severe than what we're seeing now. I mean, forget the potato famine. I mean, this is beyond that. I mean, this is beyond anything. It's Trump basically saying to every Ukrainian, give me your firstborn child and your second-born child. And if you have any children after that who manage to have children, then their first and second children are mine too, and so on down the generations until Ukraine doesn't exist anymore, right? That is the nature of this deal. There's absolutely no way that Zelensky, I mean, it would literally be selling his country into complete colonial servitude and bondage for nothing guaranteed, nothing, some vague thing that, oh, well, if the U.S. is that intimately involved in controlling all of Ukraine's economy, then we kind of have, it's kind of an amorphous security guarantee, because obviously we would want to keep the money spigot flowing once we've, driven it literally into Ukraine's heart and the blood keeps spilling out, right? I mean, that's what we're talking here, right? I mean, that's why Medvedev is even like, no one's going to sign.
He's making peace in
so
Ukraine.
Yes, I believe it that right now that it is intentionally made so punitive that they're probably laughing in the White House. Do you think he'll sign it? No, he's not going to sign it. He's not going to take it, right? They're probably laughing about it, right? It is obviously intended for Zelensky to say no and to allow Trump to take another step back from the Kiev regime. I can't imagine. Now, that said, that is an analysis on a logical basis, right?
He can't expect them to sign that deal.
No, but I mean, that assumption, that analysis that Trump doesn't mean him to sign the deal is based on logic. And I'm not so sure that the Trump administration is operating on logic in any situation anywhere, right, at this point. So I don't know. I don't know 100% that that's what's going on here, because Trump is at the same time.
Now, I did want to, you pause real quick. I did think that was interesting, because I kind of agree with him there. He may have his own reasons to believe that, but I think, like, yeah, this guy's like, logic does not have to be, it's what I want is what we're getting. That's what he's projecting, whether he gets it or not.
Yeah.
He'll make compromises where he has to, but that's where he's starting the conversation with everything.
I mean, but that's too much. If it's what he's saying, if it is what he's saying it is, there's no chance he actually means to go. Like he might want something in the neighborhood, which would also be extreme. I mean, I was kind of saying it when people were going ape shit and like, oh my god, Trump's gonna make a peace. Look at him own Zelensky. He's owning him. I'm like, I mean, he's holding his country hostage essentially. Like he had no cards to play. No cards.
There's only one other scenario where this is applicable to, and it's Gaza. And if you kind of like described it a certain way in Gaza, where it's like, yo, this guy's like, it's all or nothing. Like, fuck these guys, we're gonna take everything. So I'm saying, like, why can't I use the same logic here?
I mean, guys, that's just a different animal, man. It's a different animal. That shit has been going on forever. That conflict and everything with it, and let's be real, the shitting on of Palestinians has been happening for decades and decades and decades. Right? Ukraine, Russia, like where like a hot war starts, all of a sudden steals all the headlines. It's the most important foreign policy thing of all time. Right? Meanwhile, the motherfuckers in Gaza, Palestine, and Israel, like that's just been going on normally. Like straight up, they've been massacring people. Not to this degree, but they've been doing that the whole time. So I don't know. Maybe people are just used to it, and then the shock of Russia, Ukraine, like, oh my god, Russia has nukes. Maybe that's why I don't think the same. Oh, just let them kill him. Or just finish the job. Finish the job. Right? I don't think he's gonna do that with Ukraine, Russia.
Well, no, because I also what I'm also mean to is presently there's a conflict, and it's actually worse. And it's actually no, I can't say it's worse because they don't have an army, the Palestinians. But in a sense, it's him utilizing a ceasefire to get something in return, whether it be real estate investments in Gaza or like resource extraction in Ukraine.
Yeah.
But it seems to be the same playbook for me. I'm talking about him specifically. And what he's telling the lieutenants to do. Fucking Hegseth and Vance and Rubio.
Yeah, but there's no. I think it's just way different because I don't think he could do that with Ukraine because they have Western backers, right? Palestinians have nothing.
Well,
They have
he's getting
nothing.
the pushback from the Western backers. That's what I'm saying. He's getting the pushback that he's not getting in Gaza.
Yeah.
But it is in the same vein, I believe.
But he can't just leave that at like he can't say, "Well, Ukrainians get up and
I don't think
leave."
he cares, bro. I don't think he cares.
I think that's too far. I think he's just playing the game right now with that shit. Palestinians, he's like, just kill him, run him over, make him leave.
I consider that as well. I consider the game being played as well.
Ukraine, it's like, let's get something out of this. Let's make a deal. But all right.
Russia, openly for the first time, saying if he doesn't get his ceasefire and if he believes that Russia is responsible for him not getting his ceasefire, then he is going to tax all Russian oil with secondary tariffs, which means he will tariff any country that dares buy oil from Russia. And Russia is the largest exporter of oil, back and forth with Saudi Arabia. Anyway, it's impossible. It is a threat without teeth, right? Right. Because it would crash the global oil market. It would send oil prices so high. Americans, Trump is love of talking about how huge things will be. Yeah. The inflation and the price of gasoline in your tanks will be huge if that happened, right? So, I mean, and it's gone further because now he's threatening tariffs against the whole world. He said today, just the last few hours, all the countries. He's going to put tariffs on everyone. Tariffs for everyone. He doesn't like sanctions. He doesn't like that word. But William McKinley was a big fan of tariffs. So Trump thinks that everyone in the world, tariffs for everyone, right? I mean, like, not facetiously, not rhetorically. He said all the countries. So he might be a little unhinged at this point. And he's starting to sound unhinged, to be perfectly honest.
I
Right?
just can't.
Between-
I can't fall for the marketing. I just can't do it. I don't care how many capitals he tweets out, bro. How many like capital letters. How many rants he does on Twitter. I just don't. I'm not gonna fall for the fucking marketing. So yes, sure, he's throwing outward threats, which do have they 100% have an impact, especially in like probably like negotiations, or even on the ground in like conflicts and shit like that, right? But this one, I don't believe it. I don't believe him. He'll just do something like, "I never said that." That's my guess. Just like he did with, "Oh, Zelensky's he's a dictator. I didn't say that." But he cut half the budget. No, we're not. I didn't say that. That's more likely the case with those situations, right? He'd rather work with Europe than work, strictly against them, like absurdly against them. But also, like, just the ask is, yeah, it's just unrealistic. And I have to assume he knows it's unrealistic, but he thinks he's smart or some shit. That's my guess, man. All right, here we go.
Greenland and his back and forth on Russia. Now, he evidently, in an interview with NBC, he said that he was extremely pissed at Putin for bringing up the idea that Zelensky was not legitimate. And I'm like, wait a minute. Yeah, that Putin did. Yeah. And I'm like, wait a minute. Did you yourself not just say a few weeks ago that Zelensky is a dictator and say that Ukraine should have elections, which The Economist is telling us that they're actually preparing for, right? Presuming that there will be a ceasefire or something of the sort, which I very much doubt. I mean, Trump did a week later say, "Did I say Zelensky was a dictator?" Doesn't sound like something I'd say, right? I mean, when he said that, I was like, wow, man, you can't just walk that back. I mean, he's really going, and then the next week he walks it back. And I'm like, what is going on with this guy, right? I mean, and the media.
Why not? I can do it.
Well, we didn't really want him to say that, so we'll just all pretend and nod and agree that he didn't say that because he said he didn't say that. I mean, I don't know that there has ever been an emperor with no clothes whose own people have lied to him, or play along with him so gratuitously as the Western media and other Western governments are now kissing Trump's naked butt. But he is sounding increasingly desperate, right? He's threatening to bomb Iran if they don't agree to a deal with him after he ripped up the last deal that Iran made with the United States in his first administration, simply because Obama had signed it. And it actually, I mean, by any expert's analysis, it really certainly wasn't a bad deal if the idea was preventing Iran from restarting a nuclear weapons program, which they didn't even have at the time, right? And he then assassinated Iran's top general, the IRGC commander, Qasem Soleimani. And so is it any surprise that the supreme leader of Iran said it's poisonous to deal with the U.S.? It's no point in engaging in diplomacy with them because everything they do, I mean, if it's not ripped up by the same president who signed it, it will be ripped up by the next president who comes in. So now Trump is so furious about that he has sent a huge amount of forces towards Iran.
Once again, I don't think this guy. I don't believe him, and the temperament. I don't think he's furious about anything. Like, I'm telling you, this is wheeling and dealing business deals where the end result will not affect him. He'll be fine. You can boo him all you want. It doesn't matter. Like, he doesn't need to do any more campaigning or go in front of crowds. If he does, he can just wait years. If he does something fucked up as president, something that everyone hates, he'll just wait a couple years and then he'll come back and everyone will be like, hey, who's that guy? Oh, fuck. Like, you're not in the, I don't know. Like, George Bush said it. If he could do it, anyone can do it. Anyone can revamp their image. So, yeah, it's just, I don't think he's, like, actually seething when he's fucking typing capital letters on fucking Twitter or Truth Social or whatever the fuck, right? It's just, the idea is to send the message. That's it. But, all right, here we go. I think that's important to recognize for me personally, but, all right, here we go.
Now, Trump is so furious about that he has sent a huge amount of forces towards Iran, obviously in a threatening way, but, he's bombing Yemen. He's facilitating Israel violating the ceasefire that he brokered and bombing Gaza into the dust again, sending ground troops into Gaza again. And, now he's sending bombers to bomb Iran. Like, no country has ever been bombed before, right? If they don't agree to his deal. That's sounding like a megalomaniac.
Wait, Mark, I'm getting a lot of.
See, like, I just don't believe that, man. Don't. It's just a part of the like. The point is to showcase this so that it somewhat makes sense when he does actually, if or when he pulls the trigger on Iran. I'll just make it seem that, like, I don't know, man. I don't know. I truly actually believe that is something important to pay attention to. That, like, oh no, he's just a regular guy. He just got angry and he's a megalomaniac and he's greedy. He wants he wants this and he wants that. Meanwhile, it's him in his golf shirt. While he's golfing, he's watching his military blow people up, right, on a screen. Right? Like, doesn't look like some guy who's like, yeah, fuck you, Yemen, I can't wait to get you. Right? Those are the Yemen motherfuckers in military outfits, like, fuck you, U.S., we're going to keep bombing you, fuck you. We're going to bomb your naval ships and everything, fuck you. Right? Versus Trump was like, oh, I just did a round of golf. What happened? Oh, who's dead? All right, cool. Good job, boys. Right? He's not around, like, fucking seething and angry and shit like that. Like, because then I don't know, it creates like a narrative around him where it'll make sense when he does something fucking crazy. Meanwhile, it could have taken place with anyone in that office. Like I said, the shit that Trump's doing and the character he's playing out loud, I'm sure that all looks crazy for people. But the actions being taken don't look no different than what I saw from George W. Bush. Right? People made sense of that at the time period, but looking at it retrospectively, it's like that's batshit crazy. That's some Trump shit. The shit that George W. like as far as the personality that we think Trump is, like, oh, he's a crazy megalomaniac and he just wants to do this and do that. He just willy-nilly bombs here and willy-nilly bombs there. It's like, is that what George W. Bush was doing? Because that's what happened during his presidency. He was bombing specific places for specific reasons, just like Trump is doing. Not that he's some head honcho saying bomb there and bomb there. He's just the mouthpiece protecting the actual apparatus that does all this shit, bro. Which, in my mind, makes him a part of it because he's okay with it.
He's got them thinking he's like a maverick, an outsider, wild card guy. But he's really just following the same neocon playbook Bush followed, with a different kind of touch. He's got more English on the basketball when he shoots the layup, but it's still neocon.
Yeah, the outward character is, Twitter fingering all day and night and fucking putting out messages. Iran, you better come to the table, right?
Sneak this.
George Bush might not say, if let's say there's Twitter around, George Bush probably wouldn't say anything on fucking Twitter, right? but the same action would be taken. Or like they may announce it on Fox News instead of typing it on Twitter, but the same thing's going down. We're here to threaten Iran. Duh. That's what we're doing. Let's be real. Those policies aren't so far away from Biden and Obama. They're not that far away, guys. Like, they're fucking, like, legit next door neighbors of foreign policy. They're not so far from each other, but, you know, people, once again, get confused by the personalities. It's just weird. God.
It's like Obama doing the NCAA bracket with ESPN and fucking Joe Biden sleeping in a chair, but they do the same policy.
Yeah. Somehow. Alright. Here we go.
Country has ever been bombed before, right? If they don't agree to a deal. That's sounding like a megalomaniac.
I got linguine, bro. I got pesto ready to go.
I'm getting a lot of static. Is that coming from my end or your
Italian
end?
sausage, Parmesan cheese.
Testing, 1, 2, 3.
Pan with some
Do it
garlic.
one more time.
Testing, 1, 2, 3.
Asparagus.
It
Yeah,
just started.
I'm
Hear out
hearing
these
it
fools
come back
blowing
to
the fucking world
computer,
up.
So
Hearing it when I speak. I'm hearing it on your side.
being denied what okay, so he's being denied what he wants in multiple places at once, and he's acting like a spoiled child throwing a tantrum. He's not getting his deal in Iran. The Palestinians continue to exist, right? Russia is denying a ceasefire. Zelensky, is, I mean, we've had Ukrainian officials speak openly in the press, and they use the exact same word that I've used to describe Trump's attitude towards Zelensky and the Kiev regime: contemptuous. They hold us in contempt. Yeah, they do. Right. So, I mean, that comes the rationale for this first and second child agreement that Trump is demanding. But I mean, and Europe is defying him now, because Europe is blocking this bullshit Black Sea Initiative grain deal 3.0, because Russia, which is saying, look, in the first grain deal, we were promised these conditions and the West never fulfilled them. Sure, we'll go back and do the same thing again, but we actually want those things that you promised before delivered up front, which includes taking the Russian agricultural bank, putting it back on SWIFT, which includes making sure that Russian fertilizers and grain get to market, to allow Russia to get insurance for these ships. London governs most of maritime insurance. Belgium has SWIFT. That's based in Brussels. So the Europeans control that as well. All right. Access to ports, once again, if Russia's...
What'd you say?
You can end it here, bro, honestly.
Oh, okay. I just want to hear the like how crazy Trump's fucking thing is.
Oh, okay. Then yeah.
No, I'm saying that's all I wanted to hear. It was
For me,
dude.
yeah. They got other shit to say, I guess, about Trump.
I mean, fucking end it here. Good. Good. No, it's just okay. I threw some like not minuscule, but I don't know, just something to look out for, where it's the personalities.
It's strategical until it's actual like reality, like words he says happen. It's all strategical.
Yeah, and it's just you could see what, based on that character and the words he screams on Twitter or whatever the fuck, or in interviews, you can kind of see where he's leaning towards as far as actual policy goes, right? And that should be scary enough. Dave Smith, that should be scary enough for you. But all right, I mean, that definitely makes a lot more sense to me. That he gave him a crazy deal that no one believed would be signed in order to negotiate. Now the problem is if you're a morally thinking person, is that there are people fighting and dying while that's all going down, instead of like actually trying to end it as fast as possible, which is what his original claim was it not? From Donald Trump? I want to end this as fast as I possibly can, right? But yet
Yeah.
the actions he's doing apparently are the opposite. It's going to
Yes.
prolong things, actually.
Yeah.
Maybe there's an idea like, hey, maybe we just keep Russia busy a little bit longer, but keep the fans quiet, keep their mouths shut. You know, make them think I'm like trying to look for a deal or whatever. And they'll blame Zelensky anyways. They won't blame me. They'll blame Zelensky, or the other side will blame Putin, whatever. And I'll just keep this going for as long as I can, just to keep the Russians busy and the fans happy. And boom,
Well,
I do other
let me
shit.
ask you this: after Zelensky visited him, did he give Zelensky money or no? Am I wrong about that?
He allowed he
Aid?
put a hold on funds and weapons and shit going to them, and then once they started to talk again, he lifted that and let the arms and shit and money through. Is that what you mean?
Yeah. Okay. Well, okay, I remember now. Well, it's that's how he can play which is what Joe Biden was doing. So Joe Biden wasn't proclaiming that he was trying to end the war. Is that as long as Trump keeps funding them and giving them weapons, he can act like he can from a from a marketing standpoint with of statements he makes, he can act like he's trying to end the war
Yeah.
while still fueling the war, and like you're saying, just biding his time to go one way or the other. Like you said, keep Russia busy with Ukraine.
Yeah. Now, I do once again. I'm not. These are just ideas I throw out there or guesses, but imagine the idea. Like let's say he is a megalomaniac about it, and he's really like, I want these fucking resources, bro. I want all your shit in perpetuity, bro. What if he's thinking about it in the sense of like either we you give us this deal and we end the Russian aggression, right? We make a deal with Russia, we can set this all up and we can end the Russian aggression, or we can just keep this going and eventually you'll get ran over and then we'll just own your shit anyways. We'll just deal with the Russians and say, hey, Russia, you don't want the world looking at you a certain way, right? You don't want NATO bases surrounding you. Let us control Ukraine, not NATO. Let us control it, and you go back to your place, and we'll just take all these resources they have.
Yeah, I don't think Putin can agree to that though. 'Cause, like you're Trump, you got what 3 years and 9 months and counting. Like what happens after that? Because they were
True.
talking about that shit today. We're like, yo, like Putin's about to, he's about to, or he just um like celebrated his 25th year anniversary where he was fucking the named president in 2000.
Mhm.
Where he has like a long, he sees the long game of like, yo, you keep one guy says this, the next guy says that, then the next guy after that does this. Well, I don't think Putin's falling for that shit.
Yeah.
Even like a short term gain, it's like all or nothing.
Well, all the deals and things that were in place in regards to Russia, right, were slowly being dismantled during the Trump administration.
Yeah.
They were being dismantled there, and then it broke out into war
Mhm.
when a Democrat because Obama, before he left office, like I said 100 times before, having like NATO forces start encroaching on Russian territory, right? And Russia's like, I don't like this. Trump comes in, right?
Does the same thing under the guise of being pressured by Russiagate in order to appease the
Yeah.
Republicans that were like
Well,
crying about it.
he said words to insult NATO. Essentially, like, why are we putting all this money into
As
NATO
he
when other
gave
people
them
should be
money
doing it? Yeah,
and pushed the agenda he was talking shit about.
yeah. And then like the pipeline sanctions, right? Like Russia's pipeline to Europe, the sanctions, then I guess the ultimate destruction of it. And then
No, you're
the
right.
pulling out of nuclear deals with Russia, right? And it's
No,
like,
you're right. I see what you're saying about Trump. Like, yeah, like it's all misdirection. Whatever he says is misdirection, whether it be true or not later.
yeah. Well, it's like,
It's all misdirection.
I don't know. We should just call him a cunt. That's what I'm. Like, voters, Twitter people, citizens, just call him a cunt. Let's keep it moving. Like, oh, you're a cunt. You shouldn't be there. Get the fuck out.
It's like, he's either the tough guy he says he is, or he's a little bitch that's being told what to do, and he's using the persona either way to appeal to have people assume he's tough. He's a
Yeah.
bitch, but he's talking tough, and he's like 6'9". He's a little bitch, but he's actually got the muscle to follow through on the prompt. He's exactly. It's 6'9" is him, bro. He is 6'9".
Yeah, that sums it up right there. All right. You want to say anything else, or?
No. That's the next video.
All right. All right. There's your reaction to Jamarl and Mark Sleboda. I might listen to more of this guy. He sounds interesting.
Yeah, he's a.
Yeah.
With a grain of salt.
All right, there's your reaction. Don't forget to subscribe if you like, comment, agree, disagree. Although I think that maybe I don't know. It does a lot more listening than talking. So if you have something to say about the video or anything we've said, please let it be known in the comment section. Don't forget to share, support, hopefully donate to all the links in the description box. Check them out, read them, share them, donate, do it. And with all that said, give this video a thumbs down.
Say you wanna get in.